Hello everyone, I've decided to do something a bit different. This is not intended as an informational piece regarding games, news about games, or technical examinations, but it does contain some information. This is more of a vlogish kind of thing. It's a list of big games I'm looking forward to play on PC, mid to late 2020, with some of my thoughts and speculations mixed in. And yes, I can be completely wrong about all of it. If you're watching this, the trailers do contain all release dates and features, so bear that in mind. Also, some of the trailers are from console versions. Death Stranding. As of the time of this video, the game should be released on the 14th of July 2020. From what I can understand, it uses the same engine as Horizon Zero Dawn, Guerrilla's Games' Decima engine. However, Kojima Productions has done some more work under the hood for their game. I'm curious as to how this game runs on my computer, as it is a port from a PlayStation 4 system. An article from Ars Technica reports positive results on their tests. It looks like a lot of work has been done to optimize it for PC system. Something I found to be noteworthy is the use of AMD's Fidelity FX, which appears to be somewhat better than Nvidia's DLSS 2.0 technology. As I'm not so technically minded, I'll be talking in a more general sense. The basic idea behind these two technologies is to improve the quality and frame rates of the graphics in real time. I do have a video card that can use DLSS, but I think I'll give Fidelity FX a try if I can use it. Though the differences between the two may be too minute for me to notice for most of the time. I have used Fidelity FX on Ghost Recon Breakpoint, but I haven't tested the game without it. The game seems to run at around 60 FPS or a few frames below at times, depending on what's happening. My video card isn't top of the range or even above medium range. As usual, to squeeze some FPS, I'll have to turn off several video settings, starting with motion blur, depth of field, chromatic aberrations, bloom, if these are even available in the game. But most of the time I don't even like most of those settings anyway. Then I'll have to turn shadow and fog down, set VSync on, limit the frame rates to 60 FPS. There's probably more stuff I have to change around to get an overall smoother experience, especially running on a 1440p resolution. Space requirement is a scary one, 80 gigabytes, but it's to be expected for something like this. Game input controls, my preferences have generally been mouse and keyboard as I play on PC. However, I do use controllers for certain games. For example, I've used one for Final Fantasy 15 and Forza Horizon 4. I'm not good with controllers, but I'll use them if I have to. Thankfully, the game does allow for some level of keyboard and mouse customizations, like adjusting the walking speed. Though the game mechanics was designed for gamepad controls, the gameplay involves balancing and traversing uneven and steep environments, so I'll have to try out both types of controls to see how it go. And of course, photo mode, can't wait to snap some pics along the way. From what I can tell, the landscape looks stunning. Horizon Zero Dawn, 7th of August 2020 is the release date, and it includes Frozen Wilds expansion. Awesome. The review trailer shows quite a bit of visual customization options, so just like Death Stranding, I'll be lowering a few things to aim for 60 FPS on a 1440p. I could be wrong, but I'm not entirely sure if it does have Fidelity FX and DLSS. The trailer also shows a good amount of mouse and keyboard customization, which I think is important for the bow and arrow combat. Space required is 100 gigs. I don't know what else to say, but okay. I wonder if it's for the high resolution texture graphics, like how Final Fantasy 15 had that optional pack. For this, I don't think it's optional. And then Cyberpunk 2077, 19th of November 2020. It's not clear if it supports Fidelity FX, but from the article I saw in Rock Paper Shotgun, it does support DLSS. I haven't really talked about ray tracing as I'm not sure if it's taxing on my system, especially when I'm streaming it. It looks nice for sure, and I like to try out ray tracing for all the games that has it. For some reason, I didn't use ray tracing or DLSS on Remedy's control. I tend to be a bit scared of trying something new like that. I did see someone try to stream it, and as a viewer, there was some serious frame drops, but not on their actual screen. But there could be a number of reasons for that. I couldn't get ray tracing to work on Metro Exodus, but I think it was patched after I'd finished it. Anyway, estimated size is unknown. I don't think there's an official word about it at this time. Some predict it as 80 gig for console PC, I don't know. It might be a good idea to consider that as close to the actual size. Some features were removed, like the wall running, but that doesn't really bother me. It's not something I'm interested in doing. The remove feature that I'm sad about is the train rides. It's cool we can fast travel and drive around, but sometimes I like to hang out in a well-designed train system in a game just to get into the mood or atmosphere. It doesn't have to be some mini game or activity, just plain old train ride. Listening to the characters and watching people. I remember some of that in the first Watch Dogs. It feels like I'm living in the world. Even Assassin's Creed Syndicate had your own train to ride around. Another feature gone that I would have liked kept in is being able to own multiple apartments. It's not clear if that was actually going to be something they had intended. Again, this is more of a role-playing thing for me. I don't need to be able to customize the home, but I like to be able to move homes. Imagine studying on a lousy, dingy apartment. As you earn more or progress through the game, you get to buy new places. You could move into a really nice, swanky apartment, high-rise, overlooking the city. How am I going to play it? Action, melee, or melee, guns blazing, chaotic, talking, stealth, hacking, non-lethal, or some sort of mix. I don't think I'll be doing melee combat. It's something that's awkward for me, and I play Dying Light and Warhammer Vermintide series. I just couldn't really get into the flow. I'm lousy with hacking minigame and most minigames. I might talk about that in another podcast thing. From what I've read and seen of the hacking minigame, it seems like something I would struggle with. I wouldn't know for sure until I try it myself, but I don't want to waste points upgrading something I don't want to use or hardly use. I might focus on talking and shooting skills, some technical skills, maybe basic hacking skills, bow hunting skills. Girls only want boyfriends who have great skills. Idiot. I don't think I want to stealth around for most of the game. I'll lose my patience after a while, and I don't want to spend hours in a small area. I've done enough of that in Dishonored. If I can perform non-lethal takedowns with minimal stealth, I might do that. I can't confirm this, but I read somewhere that I can disable opponent without killing them, which I welcome, so I like to go with that if possible. I know I'll spend ages looking and being indecisive about the stats and items. I like to approach this game from a light role-playing point of view. I don't mean as stats, distribution, and upgrades, even though they add to the experience. I'm talking about pretending to be a person in the world. Do I want to be a good guy, bad guy, somewhere in between? Is it even possible to do that? It seems like Cyberpunk world isn't forgiving, and everyone is up for themselves. I'm gonna try to be as nice as I can, if possible. I do have some idea of my character background. If they don't give that to me, I'll also know how they'll look, but I'm not gonna spoil that. Assassin's Creed Valhalla. As of the time of this video, the release date is unknown, maybe October 2020 or November 2020. The game might be released in the same time as Cyberpunk. Be quite a competition at game space, but they're different enough to exist comfortably, I think, at the same time. Estimated size is probably 80 gigs. I'll say that for most of the new big games. Game mechanics, I wonder if they'll reintroduce the ability to hide in crowd and capturing a target or knocking them out. That is, have to force them to walk in a direction without being detected by others. Personally, I'm not really interested in those mechanics. I do hope there are ways to customize the Hidden Blade in terms of the looks of it. One of the things I like about Assassin's Creed Syndicate were the different versions of the Hidden Blade you could get, not just in terms of stats they give, but also in terms of the look. The settlement system. It might be cool that if you raid a village or town, there's a reputation system that can cause opponents to attack your villages. This can be annoying though if you're in a quest and something happens to your village. Fallout 4 had something like that where your settlement gets attacked. But if they can implement this properly, like the bounty system in Odyssey, it might be a natural growth from that system. It's just another sort of activity. If it's generally similar to the last two Assassin's Creed, you know what? I don't think I mind. These games are like comfort food. I know what to expect and just zone out. Watch Dogs Legion. I don't know if this game can come out at the same time as Cyberpunk. It would be tough competition. I'll be getting both. They might release it September 2020 to avoid colliding with Cyberpunk, but that's just my own uneducated prediction. Am I going to play it as stealth, non-lethal, or more action? Normally for Watch Dogs, I've always wanted to go non-lethal. Even the first one where I sort of ended up doing some lethal takedowns on the professional killers. In both games, if I ended up accidentally running over an NPC pedestrian or accidentally killing an innocent bystander, I reload the game. Admittedly, it was much harder to do non-lethal in the first game. I think there were cases where I couldn't avoid innocent people getting harmed. From what I can tell of Legion, it seems that lethal methods might have to be considered. I'll still aim for non-lethal methods, and hopefully it won't take too much time, like using the robot to shock people. Hacking is almost a requirement in this game, so I'm expecting that. I'm sort of okay Watch Dogs hacking minigame. I'm curious what the minigame is going to be like. Will it still be the same? The pipe turning system thingy? Maybe with some minor changes, or will they change it to something else or completely get rid of it? I'm fine if they got rid of it. Now, on the main standout feature of this game, you don't get a main character. From what I can tell, you recruit characters and they can be captured or killed. Traditionally, you have a main character and you're in a journey with them going through the story. How do I form a connection with a character when they are treated as equipment or apparatus? If each of them specializes in different things or different tasks and can be easily disposed of and new ones recruited, how do I care about them if they don't have individual stories and backgrounds that grows along? I mean, I can still care about them, but not in a deeper way. My concern might mostly be about losing them as skill sets. I would still like to try and relate or empathize with them, just as I would with other NPCs in the game, as much as I can. Another thing, if a character is killed, you have another character. The cutscenes will have to show the surviving members acting out those scenes. Does that mean they have to record different voices for each character? I think I read that they have a way to change the voices by having few voice actors to give it variety, but how does that work with the way they speak? That aside, thematically, the idea of characters being treated as means to an end can work. In the trailers, we see an AI called Bagley giving information to the characters. As a player, am I also Bagley? Even though I can control and recruit other characters, it's possible that the AI might play a key role to save the people, but the people need to make sacrifices to achieve the goal, thus becoming the instruments of salvation. That'll be an interesting approach, but I don't know if the developers will have that in mind. I'm fine if they don't. This is just pure speculation based on what little I've seen. That part about Bagley and everything else could change by the time it comes out. The other question is the AI modified and hacked version of CTOS. I imagine in an introduction sequence, you control a character going into a server room and doing something. maybe transferring Bagley out and the character gets killed. This is the player's first experience of the permanent death gameplay system. Just my imagination. Oh, I would like to be able to ride the trains or tubes in London, but I don't think that's in the game. I hope they let you go into the shops like Watch Dogs 2. The trailer seems to show the character standing outside the shops and buying the clothes, but maybe that's just in the demo. Hopefully, we'll find out more about it and other Ubisoft's games in the Forward event on 12th of July 2020. That's it for the list of PC games for now. I'll have to consider about how I'm going to play and stream all these games at the same time. What I mean is I don't normally finish one game and then move on to the next one. I generally jump around between games and I focus on one or two. I like to have some variations. It keeps things interesting and maybe less chance of a burnout. All totaling about 400 gigabytes and maybe 200 hours of gameplay just for the main quest lines. Oh, the other thing is that I'll mostly play the main quest lines and in a casual manner. That should help cut down the time. I'll sink it maybe 3 or 4 hours with Death Stranding initially, then spread it out for about an hour or two each day, spend about 15 hours roughly over 2 weeks, cut back on it afterwards. By August, I'll play Horizon Zero Dawn. I'll have a feeling I might end up spending more time in that than Death Stranding. The gameplay for Horizon may be short in comparison, just for the main quest line. Death Stranding might become more of a Zona experience at middle stage. I think it might be a game I'll visit over the course of a year if I can get with the flow. By November, I hope to have done most of the main stuff in Horizon Zero Dawn and maybe half of Death Stranding. Cyberpunk, however, is where I feel I might get overwhelmed with the system, and I have to learn about them to play proficiently. It might take me about 5 hours to get the basics and 15 hours to get comfortable. I don't mean knowing my way around the map either. Then there's Watch Dogs Legion and Valhalla. If either comes out before Cyberpunk, I'll have to put some solid time in Horizon Zero Dawn. But with the last two Assassin's Creed games, I've waited a couple months until they go on discount before I pick them up. I haven't even talked about Marvel's Avengers or Outriders yet. And that's it for now. Thank you for watching or listening to my rambling. I hope you all have a good day or night. Take care and stay safe. If you excuse me, I better start clearing up some space. Bye.